Fascination Street. As you can see, we are all here. Woo! All here for a change. It is awesome to actually have us all back together again, all three, like we should be.
But and just so you know, we're not tricking anyone. We are all in
the same room.
But because Mika's now got so big, we got to use 2 screens. So I'm here all by myself.
You know, now you can just kick up your legs and all of that and just say to the end, yeah, that's the end of Fascination Street. I'm just going to kick up my legs and enjoy myself.
I don't think we'd ever get around to doing that, really, would we?
No, not really.
So we're going to do just get a bit of time until everyone turns up.
Yeah.
You see, the beauty of this evening's show is we don't actually have anything planned, per se. We've got a few stories that we found from around the net. So anyone that's been with us from the beginning knows that's what we used to do. We used to do like our show before we started having guests and that, and we'd like go through like weird news or bits and pieces that we found. So tonight, as we were all finally back together again, we thought it'd be an idea just to have an old-fashioned show and also to kick back and chat with you lot, because we're coming up to our first year now. And
we already had our first year, didn't we?
we've had a year of
Ufology?
no, we've had a year of doing shows, but we're just coming up to our first year on YouTube. So we've done so many good shows and bits and pieces so far, but we kind of want to take it to the next level. We're not giving up, we're not going anywhere.
No.
But we want to see, as you are the audience, and we've always said, you know, you are the important part of the show, and we do the show for you.
We're going to continue what we're going to do, but there will be some changes as well, and we're all going to sort that out maybe on the show today.
Yeah.
Right?
No. We're going to want some ideas from you guys, where you want us to go with it. I mean, like, for instance, I mean, I miss the intro music. For some of you guys that are new, yes, we've got our own intro music. We've had all of that. But now, because we've had to change how we do things, now with StreamYard, there it is.
Yeah.
We've now got to work out how to work that platform out, because we've thrown ourselves straight into it without a great deal of research and what we can't do with it. I mean, we've already sort of like sussed out that there's so much that we can do and so many sort of like possibilities are available to us because of StreamYard.
Yeah.
So we want to keep it going. The donations and everything we've had so far while we've been doing it as well have helped us to get some new equipment. So we are in the process of trying to work out how we can implement bits and pieces into the show, whether or not it may be an occasional pre-recorded show, whether or not it may be stuff when we're out and about. You want to see more of what we do when we're not on here.
Or maybe like what we can do is how we shop. Yeah, let's not do that one. Let's not. Last time how we tried to shop salad, it didn't go well.
What shampoo Mika uses and what his bath time routine is and stuff like that is not.
And we're not going to do salad shopping this time.
No lightsabers. So ultimately, what we need to know is what you guys think, what you guys want, and then it's down to us how we're going to execute what you need. Do not mention execute order 66.
You said it.
So that's where we're going to go with this evening's show.
The UFO stuff and the fringe will still go ahead. Nothing of that will change.
No.
Saturday nights will still be the first family of fringe. Fascination Street.
And also, I'm going to still be the first ever ufology kid. Ever.
Well, not ever.
No.
Not ever.
There is another.
You know.
Oh, look at him. Sorting his clip.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be
And
me.
also,
My lights
you
are
know,
far
like,
too bright.
Everyone can't beat me because I've already been
Is,
into it. So
Is the sound quality all right, guys? Because we're all having to share the same microphone this evening. Oh,
listening to someone.
Brandon,
Oh,
Brandon! There we go. Is that a bit, no? It's a bit dull. There we go. It's a bit more like it. So sound quality all right.
or we can go to like more castles or go over to Deal Castle.
Yeah. I mean, we've got loads and loads and loads of things like available to us. We appreciate some of you are in places where you're not fortunate enough to have castles like we do. I mean, like for us, and I mean, we always take it for granted, as we do living by the sea, as we do having 5 minutes up the road, and we're in just perfect countryside.
The fortress. We could do a video up there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a big Napoleonic fortress up behind where we live. We have countryside
And
galore
like
where we
top
live.
secret,
We
isn't it?
have no.
Well,
John has said he wants to see you in the Princess Leia
oh
bikini.
my! Can everyone just chill out about that?
See what we can do. See what we can do.
Child-friendly
You know where the donation button is, John.
Child-friendly show. Child-friendly show.
There's a bit of incentive
There is,
isn't
isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we do have a PayPal, because StreamYards don't give you the option to have your account, I don't think, linked to the show, does it?
All the show links are below on YouTube. That is all in there. We've also added Mika's YouTube channel where he does his gaming, seeing as
And it's also funny because I've been going more longer than you guys.
that is very true.
I've been going more longer.
Yes, so we've actually added Mika's YouTube channel as well. So if you get a chance, have a look, see what he's gaming. They could do gaming together.
Yeah.
He does love it when people come on and chat with him when he's having a game and whatnot. So
Well, it's just fun, you know.
And also, if you're on Xbox One as well, if you private message Sarah your gamer tag, we will add you to ours, and then at some point we could probably do a game stream or something. It's something that Mika suggested a little while ago, where he could probably meet up with one of you guys online,
That's what
and then do a stream through his channel where you get to play like something with him for the evening or an hour or whatever.
But you would have to require for having a mic, because if you don't have a mic and you don't have Xbox Live, I'm afraid I can't play with you. So if you're in this chat room now, you have an Xbox, you have Xbox Live, and you have a mic, just quickly ask me in the chat room, Mika, what's your game tag, and I can hook you up.
So what we can do is we'll
okay, John, we'll add that. No, we're not going to put it out. I need a pen. You dropped my pen down the side earlier. Can you grab me that pen, please, Mika?
pen there.
John has actually put, I have donated before. How much do I need to cop up?
To see me in a Princess Leia outfit, a lot.
Mika, it's right there, darling. No, I don't need a big pen like that. That's for yours. That blue one there is perfect. Thank you very much.
So,
John, I'm going to write down your Xbox One
sweet
tag, and they can add it next time they're on.
Yeah. Well, Mika, you got your companion there, haven't you, on your phone?
Yeah, I do.
So you can add John straight away on.
Bear with me, guys, because I have.
So that's where we want to go. You know, we're not packing up. We want to make it better. And if you guys know how to use this platform, you've got any knowledge or anything how we can make it better, then
Please help.
Yeah, please get in contact with us, because any help is essential, required help. Because we don't know this, we don't know nothing about this. We were only just getting to terms with using Hangouts and stuff like that before they depleted that platform. So we had bits and pieces lined up where we were going to roll out there. Then we got into the Streamlabs thing. We were going to start using that. We got the green screen, but that's not us. The whole green screen, the whole production value, blah blah blah. That's really not our thing at all. And I think one of the good things about us is you're with us. You're sat here. You're in our lounge with us. No difference if you'd come round for a cup of coffee, or what you see here is exactly what you'd see if you come round for a cuppa. And I'm sure Dex, if you're in the chat room, you can totally testify to that as well, because he has sat on the sofa.
Although he can contest that area is actually a lot tidier than everywhere else.
He totally can. And
Okay,
also,
I'm in my
here
in here.
on our wall, we have our Fascination Street sign, Fascination Street sign, Sasquatch sign, our first little bit of fan art as well, Fascination Street. But what we want to do is we want to jiggle all of this about as well. So this
We want the
want to change.
Fascination Street maybe there. We want Sasquatch maybe in the middle. The sticker maybe a little bit up.
Might even get rid of the painting.
Well, that's the thing. Want to get rid of the painting. So if you guys have any any art that you want on our set,
I don't know if this will come up on your screen. Let's see. There we go.
Back to Work will be listening.
Hang on, wrong one. That one. What about the whole name change thing on the end of the last show with Zen Fascination Lounge? Like people come to your stream and have a chat.
Well, that's it. And we are open to all of that. We really genuinely are. And as I say, in the second part of the show, this is what we're going to be talking about. And we want to get into it. We want to get into it with you folks because, again, Fascination Lounge is a fantastic thing. Fascination Street is what we've always been and will always be, without a doubt. But Fascination Lounge is possibly a segment that we can consider doing, where we can have anyone that wants to come on, and we can have that as a Fascination Lounge or something like that. I mean, there's also talk at the moment that we may be doing a midweek show, but we've got a lot of work to do on that. A lot more bits and pieces to do. But that show is going to be about our other passion, which is motor racing. It's going to cover motor racing with Formula One. It's going to cover motor racing with like GT racing. All news on motor racing that we can find from here, domestic, international, anything like that is what we will cover. Now, as you very well know, wrong side. I'm an Aston Martin fan. Sarah's an Aston Martin fan. Mika's an Aston Martin fan.
Yeah.
When it comes to Formula One, I'm a McLaren fan. Mika.
In the Mercedes.
Sarah.
McLaren.
Because what I can say is, some people already know this, but my name is Mika Lewis Pearson. And in the middle is obviously Lewis. Now you're probably thinking, that's quite a weird name for a middle name. Well, it isn't, because when I was still in my mum.
When you were living in mum?
Yeah.
When you had a womb with a view?
Lewis Hamilton won the championship, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
Sport story.
Mummy and Daddy said, right, we can either do two stuff. Lewis as his first name or Lewis as his middle name. So they did Mika Lewis Pearson. And I'm also named by another famous driver called Mika Hakkinen.
That's right. Your first name, Mika, comes from Mika Hakkinen, which also in Japanese means new moon.
Yes.
Indeed, it does.
I think someone said in Native American it means wise raccoon.
Yeah.
And in Morocco it means carrier bag. So if ever you're stuck in Morocco, just remember Mika's name and you'll be able to get a carrier bag to take your groceries home. So that's a winner.
And whether he would have been a boy or a girl, his name would still have been Mika.
No, can I have a...
If it was a girl, it would have been Georgia.
But Mika is
unisex. Georgia!
Yeah. But no, Mika because of Mika Hakkinen, and then Lewis because Lewis Hamilton. We had no name for him. We had no middle name for him or anything, and it's custom in our families to have middle names.
You had
So we had no middle name lined up. So the 2008 championship ended just a couple of days before Mika was born. So we jokingly said, look, if Lewis wins the world championship, we'll have Lewis as his middle name. Ergo, Mika Lewis.
Okay.
So that's it. So yeah, so I've already contacted Aston Martin, the factory racing team, and TF Sport, which is our domestic GT team that we follow, to see whether or not they've got any goodies with regards to signage, banners, stickers, things like that we can do. Because I'll build a totally different set for that one. So yeah, so that'll be something that we're actually looking into at the moment, doing a proper racing show during the week.
And also, I might, I know I shouldn't do this, but I might make another channel, and all it will be about is racing, talking about racing, doing racing, go-karting racing.
Yeah, because we're looking at getting to more go-kart tracks and
So
doing more
maybe
racing
Mummy
ourselves.
and Daddy might allow me to do that.
Maybe we won't.
If this gets,
But you'll be able to do all that on the other show. Because the thing is we will have to open another channel for that. But again, these are all things that we have, all different ideas that we have at the moment, which are all in the pot. And collectively, we need to sit down, talk, work out how we're going to execute those bits as well. Look, I'm even doing the melting pot hands. And again, we've got pen and paper with you guys, and we can chat with you guys later on, and we can, get these ideas out here, what you'd like to see, ideas that you have. I mean, if the ideas are that good, then obviously we're going to take note of and we will contact you to find out further what other ideas you have or how we can elaborate on what you have. So, I mean, are you good with that? Are you happy with that? Is this how you want it to go down, or are you just happy with the way things are?
How about a Star Wars series, Shadows?
Yes.
And Sarah, what are your ideas about the show? Well, we're all. I'm an avid Formula One fan as well. Have been since starting to watch it from a young girl with my mum and dad living at home. So it's not just since I've been with Jimmy that I've been a Formula One fan. It's been
we've got
many
like
years.
Next to us, Auto Express magazine, Evo magazine. We've got Auto Sport magazine.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
We've got pretty much all our games.
Bookshelf next to us, Formula One, Formula One, Formula One, Formula One encyclopedias.
Yeah, they're
Star
everywhere.
Wars, Star 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 Wars, Formula One.
The gaming is not for me. I am not a gamer.
But she plays mind games.
I think me and Dad are the ones that.
Oh, we're going to go off and we'll do the practical stuff. We'll get in contact with like go-kart centres and see whether or not we can get round there and take a GoPro with us.
We'll get more famous, and Mum will just be sitting there.
Oh, Mum won't. Mum won't. Seriously, no. Mum's an integral part. We'll need someone to wash our socks after a hard day's racing and mop our brow with a towel when we come back all sweaty. And so Mum's quite important. I'm already in contact with a few of the drivers in the GT League, World Endurance Championships, British GT. So, I mean, even if we have guests coming on, one guest that I really would like to get on is Charlie Martin. And she's aiming to become the first transgendered woman to race at Le Mans. She's doing a lot of fantastic work with Racing Pride UK, getting it out there that there is somewhere that supports all drivers in all disciplines that are LGBT. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, because I don't think anything like that should affect someone's ability to be able to drive a car or go-kart or any other discipline to do with motorsport. I really don't think it should be anything to do with that. So, like, no, it doesn't. Doesn't.
Just as long as you
doesn't.
Race it and you just go hard.
Go hard.
Or go home.
Or go home.
Okay, Planet Looper. Okay, I get it, but I'm not so interested in Formula One. But
No.
Okay, we all have different.
Yeah, of course.
That sounds good.
I don't want everyone to turn up, because I mean the chances are, because of some of the sort of like other groups and things that I belong to, and it'll be a totally different crowd for that. I mean, our Fascination Street, we still stay totally committed to what we're doing, ufology, metaphysics, fringe subjects, and everything like that, because that's our baby, and it always will be.
It's our passion.
You know, and it just so happens that we have motorsport love as well, and gaming and stuff. So Mika's channel's predominantly going to be used for the gaming, because he does that. I mean, I was a guest on his show twice this week, and we done Forza 7, Best of British, where we was racing Aston Martins, Bentleys, Jaguars. The next night we done Star Wars Battlefront. So to mix it up and throw ideas for like 2-player games in and stuff like that. Again, this is what we can all do.
Yeah. Enjoy being. I'm not into gaming, motor racing, or Star Wars, but that won't stop me tuning in for company.
That's all right.
It's awesome.
I'll just come around and make you a cup of tea, and we can just have a conversation anyway. Enjoy being because you're always there, and that's really cool.
Yeah, they did want to start a channel up for craft making and crocheting, because neither of them can do it, so it was only me. So
true that.
Yeah, let's not put
Majority takes away.
True that. But again, it can be all different things. What goes on behind the scenes of Fascination Street, and we can bring the camera around and show Mummy doing her thing.
If I'm away.
Yeah, that's her hobby.
Okay, Mika, please say hello to Nana and your friend.
Friend,
Yes, she's got her friend with her.
I've already put it in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, say it personally. Say hi, Nana and friend.
Hi, Nana.
Hi, Mum. Hi, friend. How are you?
Hello there.
Okay, so I mean, we have many people in the chat room now.
Yep.
So we've got Enjoy Beard.
Yep.
Hello. We have Planet Luca.
Hello there.
We have Mum, obviously.
Yep. Hello, Mum.
We have Maggie.
We
We have Tinette.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, Tinette.
We have
Tinette. Thank you very much for the candy bundle.
Yeah.
We're waiting for more candy from around the world to arrive, and then we're going to do this. It's going to happen.
I do have your bundle ready. It will be sent off hopefully this week. As long as I can get out.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll be sent off. Shadows of Your Mind.
Hey, Dave.
Sidvich.
Hey, Sidvich.
We have Mortimer James.
Yeah. Hi, Mortimer.
We have John, but he's working but listening.
Hi, John, who's working, listening, but should be watching.
Out of mind.
Ayum.
And who else have we got? We've got Dex is in the house.
Dex in the house. Whoop, whoop.
We have Bug.
Hey, Bug.
And we have Philip Blair.
Phil Blair. Aloha.
Still in there. I've said your names. I'm hoping you're all going to be.
Oh, we've got no Zane.
Maggie.
Yes.
Would love to do a show with me about invisible illnesses.
Yeah, cool.
I would be very up for that. Obviously, I have many invisible problems that people don't see because you look normal in brackets.
So I'm just chilling.
Yeah, with a lot of medication that masks a lot of things. So yeah, Maggie, I would be totally up for that. Me and you on the sofa having a chat without the boys. I would be totally up for that.
Yep.
Still stream it on Fascination Street. Do it maybe a midweek. So
you could do it as a Saturday job.
Or a Saturday. Yeah, I'm totally up for that, Maggie. And we can have anyone else jump in, anyone that's got any problems that they are willing to obviously air. We don't want you to come on if you don't wish to share anything. But yes, absolutely. I have chronic pain syndrome, which is an invisible thing. I have 3 problems with my back, all different in different areas, hips, pelvis. So yeah, absolutely. And we can share and we can help each other to try and get through our day-to-day life, what our troubles are and how we overcome them. I've had 10 years of chronic pain clinic. I am a master now.
And everyone's been saying to me, how how can you live with this, Mika? And I said, well, it's easy because I'm looking after my mum all the time, and I'm not that type of boy that says, oh, well, I'm going to ditch my mum, I'm going to go and play with my friends. It's oh, I won't ditch her, I'll help her. And everyone just says, well, can't you play with us more? And I said, no. My mum comes first. She's an ill lady, and I love to take care of her. And I've also got to take care of this little one here.
Blue Eyes is in the
Yeah.
house.
Hey, Blue
And
Eyes.
they said they've got Lyme's disease.
Yep.
So that's another invisible illness which
What is
people
that?
I don't know the definition of it, to be honest.
Blue Eyes. May we have a short definition so we can educate the young man who is currently sat with
The dog on his lap.
Dougie Dog.
Hey! Yeah, that's why I'm
Yeah,
struggling
boy,
to. That's why I'm struggling to sit up
He's
straight.
set up because he's got dog laid all over him, licking him to death.
But I don't mind.
You're giving kisses.
He's so cute, isn't ya?
And
Gorgeous.
that's why I was chuckling, because as Mika was talking to the camera, every word he said, the dog was looking at him. So, yeah. But that's what I mean. We have a range of people in our audience. We have such a wonderful, diverse mix of people in so many different ways. Again, we make this for you. So we want to know what you want, how we can facilitate, execute, and make it happen for you. Because anyone can watch a show which is going to pump out regurgitated material time after time after time after time after time. And we don't. We want to keep it fresh. We want to keep you entertained. And we want you to enjoy yourselves because, as we've always said, we do this for you. And you give us your time, which is the most important gift that anyone can ever give anyone ever. Fact. Yeah.
Lyme's disease is spread by ticks. There we go.
Ah, I never knew that. Thank
There you go.
It's hard to explain sometimes to a child what certain things are. So.
But you know what a tick is, don't you? It's those little things that get on the dog. So it's cool. Just give it a moment for Sarah to catch up and do her thing.
Yes, sorry. It affects different parts of the body depending whether bugs are attacking your cells. Blue Eyes, I don't know whether you have Facebook or not, whether you have Messenger. We could always do a chat where maybe I call you and we're able to speak to you through Facebook chat and it gets aired. Whether you're willing to do that, that's one way we can get you onto the stream as well. It's a possibility. I know you said you don't have a camera.
Or written testimony. Mind you saying that, you don't have to have a camera, do you?
You don't have to have a camera to join a stream, no.
No, you can just have a blank.
So you can just have a blank screen. So not having a camera is not a problem. If you're willing to come onto a stream, more than welcome. You don't have to have a camera. We don't have to see you. Just hearing you is more than enough. So that's a definite possibility.
Yeah.
Whether you'd be up for that. Sure, I'd love to. Fabulous. We will organise that. We will get it done.
And also, if anyone, see, we're going for it all now, aren't we? We're going for all the ideas now, right? The show's gone upside down. We were supposed to go straight.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Right, what we'll do is we'll crack on with the news bit first, then old school, like we used to, and then we'll go back to where we were with ideas, etc. Okay. Right. So, are we sitting comfortably, children? Douglas, are you sat comfortably? Yes. The ears are up. I shall begin.
Planet Luca. Maybe it'd be interesting to do a show, a Fascination Lounge, with me talking about the way me and my friends improvise music.
Oh yeah.
And how liberating it can be. Just exploring ideas here.
Always. Yeah.
Good.
Well, we were listening to your stuff before we got on, weren't we? Yeah. That one, new one that you just posted. We went straight onto that. We listened to another couple, and then we had a little bit of Blink 182 before the live stream started. So you were there. You were there.
Don't you think you're left
Right,
out
so
or
this
not?
one is entitled Man Meets Machine, 21st Century is Age of Upgradable Human, says expert. And this was by Kieran McGrath, and it was in yesterday's Express. The blistering pace of digital technology advancement is set to offer the tantalizing potential for people to upgrade their abilities, but will also throw up major ethical dilemmas, including how to ensure such enhancements are available to everyone and not just the super rich, an expert has said. In the week, a paralyzed man learned to walk again using an exoskeleton powered by just his mind. And by the time people are in a position to begin colonizing other planets, mankind will be a technologically augmented species. Bob Flint, the technical director with BP's Digital Innovation Organization, predicted. The recent BBC One drama series, Years and Years, touched on such concepts, with one character voicing her desire to become transhuman. In other words, dramatically enhanced by technology, and Mr. Flint said the concept was perhaps not as far fetched as it may sound. Mr. Flint, who will present his ideas during a talk entitled The Upgradable Human at the New Scientist Live Festival in London's Excel Centre, said, humankind's development is a story of using technology to add our capabilities. Think clothing and spectacles, or more recently, pacemakers and laser eye surgery. Now, with technology becoming incredibly powerful through digital, the possibilities are becoming exponentially greater. We can imagine augmenting our strength, stamina, senses, and even intelligence. It was yesterday announced that a Frenchman known as Theobald had managed to walk in the exoskeleton in a pioneering experiment carried out by scientists at the University of Grenoble in France. As a result, the next few decades could see an increased blurring of the lines between man and machine, Mr. Flint said. He explained wearables are an early example of this trend, but new technology is emerging which can be incorporated more seamlessly into the body, heralding an era where humans and machines will be closely integrated. Eventually, it's possible humans may be able to move beyond the evolutionary process by selecting digital upgrades that overcome the constraints of biology and allow each of us to choose powerful new abilities, which can be used in our personal and working lives. Such concepts have been featured in modern sci-fi shows, including Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror and the aforementioned Years and Years, written by Russell T. Davies, and even as far back as the $6 Million Man in the 1970s. Mr. Flint said, I loved Years and Years and thought it was great to see TV drama exploring some of the futuristic concepts. Personally, I think we're some way from the transhumanism that is mentioned. One of the characters wanted to upload her personality and experiences to become a purely digital being, which would need huge advances in computing. I'm actually talking about the opposite idea, using digital technology to give our human selves greater powers. This is possible now.
Wow.
That that is pretty nuts.
Learning how to walk by robot.
What
By the power of
what was
mind.
what was the film trailer that came up when we had the technical difficulty?
Terminator.
How mad is that?
You know, again, is it AI again? Is it AI kicking in again? Is it I don't know, it's like all very Johnny mnemonic, where you kind of upgrade yourself, upload
Well,
yourself
wouldn't it be
again,
funny
like the
if
Matrix. You know, oh, I've got I don't know, I need to do something this afternoon. What if I need to learn how to fly an aeroplane? Oh, hang on a second, I know how to fly an aeroplane. You
I
know,
think maybe what could happen in the future is I think normally robots could be made by humans, but if you think about it, we've only made like the hand ones. Sorry, the
well, I don't know.
hand once.
Well, no, because I mean the exoskeleton that they were saying about there
yeah,
is
but when
kind
was
of like
that
the
made?
suit. This week, the guy done it. It was like a suit built around someone that couldn't walk, but by using his mind, he could walk again. By using the power of his mind with this wearable thing, and they've done it as well with the guy with the arm. I know what you're talking about. It's like a black arm, isn't it? And the guy can actually open it and close it by using the power of his mind.
Some people, and I'm not being rude, but some people don't develop their arm, and I understand that. But instead of a proper robot arm, they go to Legos and they build a whole arm, and they probably spend days on this, and probably they've got their thumb as their elbow.
Well, no, it wouldn't work no, because if someone only had a bit of their arm, what they would do is they would build like the rest of the arm.
And that's what someone did. They went, as they go up to a door, they go like that, and the Lego arm has got enough strength to do push-ups to hold that much weight and push open a really heavy door.
Yeah, but is that through using the mind though, or is that through using the computer?
It can be also used from the mind
because that's where we're going with this one, using the human mind to be able to
like
upgrade it.
Over it. But he needs to think of what he's going to move.
Yep.
So if it goes like, if he wants to move it up, he has to think that, and then it'll move up.
You think in time though, if you've got something like that, and you've got to think about the movement of the thing that you've got to move, then if you've got a memory chip where you can upgrade your memory because you're thinking about it all the time, it's like for us, like fluidly moving my arms as I am now. I'm not thinking about it, but I know that obviously they've got to be moved for me to be expressed. It'd be the same kind of thing, wouldn't it? Because they'd be able to upgrade the memory for them not to worry about thinking about it. Or is it becoming more of a natural thing because of the speed of the movement? What do you guys think? What do you think, sir?
I think it's amazing, but I see what you're trying to understand. You know, like Wallace and Gromit, the 1,000. It'd be something like that where
but
it's controlled by their mind, though.
Yeah, instead of you having the levers at the front of the trousers, you'd have the trousers plugged into his mind.
Like an arm would be. It would be
like the Were Rabbit, where he had to have this glass thing on his head, and it shot waves into his head. I've seen it. It's so good.
Yes, that's the kind of idea.
We're not trying to.
The mind is such a powerful thing.
We're not trying
to powerful thing that it's to be able to do something like this, and to be able to get back something that you have lost, whether it's through undevelopment or whether it's through an accident or an illness. It's such an amazing thing. I mean, this is real futuristic things, and this is something that's happened yesterday. That a man has learned to walk after was it an accident? It didn't say. So we're undetermined whether that happened or not. What happened? But yeah, to actually learn to walk after not being able to walk is amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2030 or somewhere around there, they'll probably release the technology.
I mean,
because like they've made the technology because it just literally said it. They can't cover anything up now. The whole world has seen it. Sorry, not sing it, Mika. Sing it. And when they see it, as the government, they accidentally put something out, remember? They accidentally put something out and they said, oh, no, actually that's wrong. No. When really, it was right. So, we have the technology, they can't cover it up. But in probably 2030, it'll be released.
Okay, Blue Eyes, yes, I saw that, Mika, and now he's building arms for other kids. That is amazing. I'm all for assisting disabilities, but against transhumanism for otherwise healthy humans.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's a bit like those that get is it trying to think what it is, those people that get addicted to, like, is it auto surgery or something? You know, someone has like a facelift or something, and then like they have to have them all the time, and then they think, oh, I need to have that. They have that addiction.
Addiction.
Is it
Yeah.
like no, not body dysmorphia addiction?
You also
It's
have
something
It's
like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, would you kind of like get to a point where, like, you know, something happens in your arm zone, you're thinking, mate, this is amazing. I can do. I want the other arm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the kind of road that you were going down with that one?
it can,
Because I think it. Sorry.
sorry after you.
No. Really, sorry. After you.
It can get quite addicting after a while, you know. It's just like a tattoo. Once you have one, you're just like, oh yeah, actually I'll have that. You know what? I'll have that one. Until eventually you've run out of money and you're thinking, I shouldn't have gotten all those tattoos. Then you would have to get them all removed, and then you would have to say, actually no, I want one of those again. And then probably the guy's just saying, make your mind up and leave. Because he'll probably get annoyed the fact that you're saying, I like that one, I like that one. You know?
Enjoy being. Oh yeah, there's a guy on YouTube who is a permanent clown with his makeup tattooed on and silicone eyebrow implants. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Wow.
I can imagine
Well,
that.
now's a good time to be a clown, isn't it? With the release of Joker.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's just well.
I think hasn't there been some copycats or some clown related stuff going on over in the States, guys? I don't know if anyone over in the States can clarify. Was there something that was put out on Zen's feed as well earlier?
Tonic Looper, but when useful in war, it will be developed.
Yeah. And then
but
watch the
think
price go
about-
up as well when it's developed for war.
Yeah. So think about rescuing crews after natural disasters.
Yeah.
Can use skeletons like that. Enjoy being, but I mean more futuristic idea of having bionic parts for fun.
Yeah.
Blue eyes, yes, I bet 20 years we will think it's nothing to have exterior aid for sports like we see braces and things now. Enjoy being like a microchip or some such thing. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I mean. You got like reaction upgrades and things like that. I mean, again, you're gonna have people out there with the money. You know, people like Jeff Bezos or your Elon Musk's. You know, they catch wind of this that, you know, because they have the finances, then they could basically do whatever they wanted to do to make themselves the greatest person ever alive. It's not enough that they've got billions in the bank, but to have billions in the bank and then be able to do everything else that goes with it as well, you know, have the world's greatest stamina, strength, speed, you know, all these silly little things. And it'd probably only become, you know, possible for those that have the money to be able to do it.
The world's the oyster, and
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know, but you know, Looper's point about it, like the war thing as well, absolutely. All the time there's money to be made from profit to be made from war, there'll never be peace. Simple as that.
no, very true.
Are you reading the next one, or do you want me to read the next
You
one?
know,
No, I'm going to read the one that I found. So it's this is going to be the last one of the ones, so the other two.
You went all Ozzy Osbourne on me.
I did. Okay, so this is from the Mind Unleashed, and it's Elias Murat. Scientists baffled as unidentified object falls from the sky and ignites a number of fires. Typically, when one hears about flaming bright objects falling from the sky, one comes to a very simple conclusion. It must be a meteorite, burning as it falls through the Earth's atmosphere. However, last week in the south of Chile, so this is the 2nd of October, so last week in the south of Chile, residents on the island of Chiloé were shocked when a fireball plummeted all the way to the ground, starting a number of fires. local property owner Bernadetta Ojeda was among the residents impacted when what many assumed was a meteorite when a bushfire was sparked by the burning object. However, on Saturday, officials from the country's National Geological and Mining Servicemen reached a preliminary conclusion that the object could not have been a meteorite, for the simple reason that no evidence of any form of space rock could be found where the fires had started. Uh, where's the rest of it?
Um,
No, don't restart the computer. Thank you, don't restart. Was where the fires were started by the luminous and incandescent object in the sky that fell in that location. In a statement, the agency wrote, once in the Delacruz area, geologists went to the site to examine the area of the supposed impact. They worked at 7 points corresponding to the burnt bushes, where they found no remains, vestiges, or evidence of any meteorite falling. Likewise, and as a part of the investigation, they interviewed local residents who said they had not seen the fall of the supposed object or heard noises associated with the fall of a body of this nature. Preliminary professionals are ruling out the nature of the meteorite in the sector and therefore that the cause of burning thickets as corresponded to that situation.
Do you need those?
No, I don't. Thank you.
You haven't
So
got your
if
glasses.
Chile's, I haven't.
what
So
am I-
if
Don't let someone find your glasses.
No, don't worry. So Chile's authorities are ruling out a meteorite. What could the falling heavenly body possibly be? As CNET correctly notes, these are by definition UFOs. Technically, we're talking about unidentified flying objects. Yes, UFOs, although nothing big or well piloted enough to reopen the X-Files for, it would seem. So this definitely wasn't a flying saucer, if only, because then we'd have some alien technology lying around perhaps. Then, was it a bit of litter that escaped the near to low Earth orbit, a zone of space that is known to be teeming with zombie satellites, shards from rockets, and all sorts of other debris left behind by the world's space agencies? As Nature Journal wrote last September, since the Soviet Union launched the first satellite, Sputnik, in 1957, a number of objects in space has surged, reaching roughly 2,000 in 1970, about 7,500 in 2000, and about 20,000 known items today. The two largest spikes in orbital debris come in 2007, when the Chinese government blew up one of its satellites in a missile test, and in the 2009 Iridium Cosmos collision. In this case, a bit of flaming space junk appears to be the most plausible scenario, and one that leading Chilean astrophysicist Jose Mazda told the national broadcaster TVN. We wouldn't be surprised if geologists maintain to find small bits of metal and other human manufactured bits of garbage, be it from old rocket boosters or from thousands of dead satellites spinning around our planet. And luckily, space debris very rarely hits the ground, although this may as well have been an exception to the rule. So there we go.
That sounded a bit intense.
It's really weird because when you look at a map, the amount of space junk that's out there, it's pretty bad, isn't it?
It is.
Because we had a look at one a little while ago, didn't we? And and for it to be a UFO, well, of course it is. Because anything that's in the sky or comes from the sky is a UFO anyway. Doesn't always
But you can't identify.
doesn't always imply alien life or anything like
No,
that.
that's
It's a UFO, so that stands to reason.
Well, if you think about it, if there's anything to involve with fires and UFOs,
And it's
If-
squishing a little bit because
sorry.
we can't see it that well on the camera, mate.
that'd be fine. If you put fire and UFOs together, you put it in a matcher, it would match straight up. Because if you think about it, UFOs come out of the sky. They come out of the sky, no engine power, no electric power, but then the moment they get into the orbit, they put on power, all of that, it turns into this big gas of fireball, then everything overheats and melts, then obviously the aliens have sadly passed, but then it'll create this big ball of junk because obviously as it's coming in, it's melted, or as it's coming in, it's starting to melt, and it's starting to create this fireball. And when it lands on Earth, of course it's going to start fires because as it comes in, obviously it has no way to slow down.
It's not just that; it's going to burn up in the stratosphere.
That's it. Usually
Exactly.
meteorites, they burn up in the stratosphere and you see them as a shooting star. But they don't usually land. And if a meteorite does land, there's usually a crater as to where it lands.
But
Yeah.
was there a crater?
No, that's it. There was no crater. All there was, it was fires.
I mean, we've again, as you said in there, we've had things coming down from space stations to satellites to all these different bits and pieces. You know, and if something was afoot, do you really think you're gonna know what the truth is?
We'll never be told the truth.
Exactly. But again,
Yeah, but the
with the
government just doesn't want to
the amount
tell
of
us.
stuff out there,
That's it.
space junk again, satellites, other bits and pieces coming down through
Yeah.
there. But you would have thought with burning up coming through and the speed that it's coming down, kind of the air and the distance it's got to go from the stratosphere to coming down to here, it would have burnt out because of the freezing cold
Yeah.
temperature
Exactly. And
and
it
the
didn't.
velocity.
It started fires.
Mm. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think on that?
I
Because
think my answer.
It confused me, which is why I thought it was such an interesting story.
Do you know who we haven't asked?
Yeah, Doug is asleep. You're not going to get
drugs,
anything out of him.
don't wake him up. You got a habit of waking people up.
What do you think, Debbie?
Leave me alone.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think what had come down. I mean, I mean, meteorite, 100%.
But it would have left a crater.
Yeah, but I mean that thing that was flying through the sky when that last time we done a sky watch. I mean, how do you explain that? That was
dunno.
bizarre. That was when you was on holiday. You weren't with us on that
No.
sky watch.
Meatballs. Sorry, meteors. If you
Are you hungry, son? By any chance? Thinking of food?
Is that with tomato sauce or not?
Oh dear.
Anything in the chat room?
Nope.
No. Right. Let's move
We'll
on to
go
the next one.
Oh, I think I'm about to eat
Okay,
one
so
as
this next one is what NASA got wrong about the God of Chaos asteroid Apophis exposed in shock claim. And this is by wow, this is an interesting name. Gerard Kayonga.
well. Gerald.
No, Gerard. So research scientist Michael Horn argued NASA has been wrong about the God of Chaos asteroid Apophis and may be forced to take a potential impact more seriously in the future. Research scientist and official representative for Billy Meyer, Michael Horn, insisted that NASA has previously been wrong about their predictions on the God of Chaos Apophis asteroid. During an interview with express.co.uk, he claimed the space agency would likely now be taking the dangers of the asteroid more seriously. Mr. Horn said NASA firstly dismissed the possibility that Apophis would hit the Earth. They have changed that multiple times now. Fortunately, they are seemingly taking it a little more seriously, but initially were completely dismissive of it. Then they had to correct their own size estimate of Apophis to within 25 meters of what the original discoverer, a man named Billy Meyer, stated. Maya first published his info on Apophis. At that time, he referred to it as the red meteor, but he published his information in 1981. That was about the near certainty of Apophis eventually impacting the Earth. He published that 23 years before NASA's so-called discovery in 2004. I want to state up front, I'm not an astrophysicist nor a mathematician, but NASA had to change their estimation and calculations. They may have been a number of factors that they have had to take into consideration, and we might hit on one or two of them in the discussion. NASA has already begun preparations for the arrival of asteroid 99942 Apophis, dubbed God of Chaos asteroid, which will skim past the Earth in 10 years. The asteroid measures 340 meters across and will pass within just 19,000 miles of Earth's surface. Apophis is one of the largest asteroids to pass so close to the Earth's surface, and a collision with the planet has the potential to be devastating for all life on Earth. The asteroid is set to get closer to the Earth than communication and weather satellites in orbit. Most satellites in Earth's orbit are geostationary orbit 36,000 kilometers away, which is 22,236 miles from the planet. Apophis is traveling approximately 25,000 miles per hour, meaning a slight detour from its trajectory could be catastrophic. Michael Horn also referenced the comic illustration of Billy Meyer's presumed initial discovery of the Apophis asteroid before NASA, entitled The Adventures of Billy Meyer. Billy Meyer. Billy Meyer. Well, Billy Meyer is always been a bit of a controversial character within the ufology community. I don't want to throw too much out there because this is a family show. So he's someone that you'll learn about soon.
He's a nice guy.
He's all right.
Do you think Dougie would like him?
Dougie likes everyone. He's biased. He just likes
Okay,
anyone.
Dougie.
Billy Meyer, he had all these pictures of UFOs and other bits and pieces, and a lot of them look quite fake. But again, he's a controversial character. Some love what he's done, some don't. But with regards to asteroids, full stop, there have been quite a few near misses of late, hasn't there? There's been a lot of near misses. There's been a lot of asteroids and bits and pieces that NASA have missed. Yeah. There's been so many that have come very close to Earth. You know, it's as it is. But there's also a lot of people that are kind of pushing a catastrophic kind of event within the next 10 years anyway, out there within the ufology community. It's quite strong predictions that so and so is going to happen, this is going to happen. Again, it's all within the next 10 years. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. You're right, Sarah.
Yeah.
We do.
It's right, Dougie's just pinning me down. He's pinning me down next to Mum, and he just wants cuddles. He just wants cuddles, eh?
So I'm just waiting for Sarah to catch up. How are we all doing out there? Are we okay? We having a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
Right.
Okay, fear mongering. Planet Lucas said, like Will Cock or Mr. Good. Shadows of Your Mind. I listened to a lot of Billy Meyer prophecy tapes. Time I won't get back, although his original story is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. He's a very controversial character. Some think he's fantastic in what he's done. Some also believe that the work that he done has also carried on amongst other people that are quite prominent within the community nowadays, but with their own little slant on it as well. So it's interesting, and especially for Michael Horn to kind of be out and about as well. You know, is he part of what's going on? We don't know, do we?
No, we don't.
And that's it. As I say, I don't obviously want to say too much because now I've just found an article here. Tests on mysterious UFOs stun scientists in Chile after bizarre eyewitness reports.
Go for it.
Are we sitting comfortably, children? Following on from the first story, second story. So this is by Ollie Smith, and it's test on mysterious UFOs stun scientists in Chile after bizarre eyewitness reports. Scientists have been left baffled by a mysterious fireball that crashed into Chile last week after officials confirmed that it was not a meteor. Chilean officials are investigating several bizarre burning objects that crashed into the country last week. At the time, many scientists claimed the objects had been meteors. However, not meatballs, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Claimed the objects had been meatballs. However, officials have now confirmed that fireballs that hit the Earth, well, that's not furballs, that's fireballs that hit the Earth, were not natural and have now ruled out meteors. Meatballs. Last week, residents in Dalcaju, a port city on the southern island of Chile, took to the social media with reports of the unidentified flying objects.
No.
Some posted photos of the phenomenon as the fireballs reportedly crashed at a number of locations around the town. They were described by witnesses as bright red objects streaking across the sky.
Sure they're not meatballs.
That's what we saw.
Sure they're not meatballs.
If they're red, they're going to be covered in tomato sauce. Geologists from Chile's National Geology and Mining Service soon arrived to examine the 7 sites that had been scorched by the mysterious UFOs. Bizarrely, locals told the geological teams said they not heard. Wow, that is some really bad reporting there. Said they had not heard any noises associated with the impacts, nor did anyone witness the crash landings themselves. The scientists just released a report confirming that the sites did not hold any evidence of a falling meatball. In the report, the scientists concluded they found no remains, vestiges, or evidence of a meatball left behind by the luminous and incandescent objects. Local resident, Bernadita Ayeda had one not furball, land on her property where the flames ignited a few bushes. I don't know if you can actually see the picture. There.
What kind of flame? Hot chili sauce flame? Or just flame?
The news that the objects were not meteors had sparked several conspiracy theories about the source of the fireball. Some experts have suggested that they could have been pieces of space debris. However, others have pointed to the bizarre eyewitness reports to suggest an extraterrestrial source. It's going to be aliens, wasn't it? Experts initially suggested that the objects had to be a meteorite before the assertions were rejected by the tests. Chilean astronomer and astrophysicist Jose Maza told the Chilean news network TVN last week that the blazing objects were either meteorites or space debris that detached from satellites. Astronomer Jonathan McDowell of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics tweeted that the falling objects were probably meteorites and that there were no obvious space debris candidates that he could see. Is that it? Right. So there we go.
Wow.
So what is it then?
Joy Bean said something being shot out the sky, maybe?
Yeah, but what is it that's being shot out?
Well, that's what we're trying to work out, Mika, because again, distance, velocity, temperature, and all of that would extinguish pretty much anything that was coming down from space, unless it was like absolutely huge.
True. Yeah. So.
So, maybe, you know, could it have been something that may have been shot by an energy weapon?
Dad, this isn't Stark Killer Base or Death Star, okay?
Energy weapons are real, mate.
Yeah, but this isn't Stark Killer
But
Base.
it could have been something shot out of the sky.
Yeah. It could have been something like an electromagnetic pulse, EMP. You know, you got to understand that like all these like energy weapons and things like that aren't just like extreme laser beams and like these great big things that have been shot out the Death Star or something like that. There's a million and one different ways. I mean, you know, whether or not it's kind of like sonic attack. EMP shocks, yeah, EMP shock waves, EMP shocks. I know that I'm not sure if the trial's over and done with now, but they were using EMP like lasers aboard naval vessels and shooting at missiles and shooting at targets and things like that from a warship. I can't remember if it was British or American, but they were using something along those lines.
British, if you did that, we're not going to be happy. So.
Anything else coming through?
Something that no one will own up to shooting down. Blue Eyes is having to shoot off, so he's leaving the show.
Okay.
And Planet Looper's had to go too, so we've lost those two.
Bye bye, Blue Eyes. Bye bye, Looper. Much love.
Well, I think definitely if it was an EMP, wouldn't it also affect the people that saw it?
No.
It was,
no, because it's specifically for electronics.
and isn't it also
So I'd be able to
funny?
shut my phone down, but you wouldn't feel any effect from it, or Mama, I don't think.
Still, wouldn't it be funny though that if you're wearing obviously t-shirt and all of that, right? And an EMP shock comes, for example, and obviously it's done that fire thing. If you think about it, wouldn't it also set your clothes on fire?
No.
Got too close to it.
No. It's only after the electromagnetics. That's why it's an electromagnetic pulse, EMP. That's what it stands for. Interesting. I think we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one. I think.
Yeah,
Just.
absolutely.
I wonder if they're gonna make an EMP grenade, and like it can stop all of these like.
I imagine something like that will be in place soon when they sort of like start bringing the exoskeletons for the soldiers, which they're talking about.
I almost said neutral again.
No. Right.
Should we get back on to what we're gonna do with the show?
Yeah, back onto that. So
I think we should start off with our name. We thought of a couple of names.
well, no, Fascination Street is staying as Fascination Street.
Yeah, but you know, we're thinking of maybe.
Well, for the motor racing show, which we'll probably put out on a different
Do you
channel.
want me to show them?
We could probably go on a different channel, but be linked still with Fascination Street.
Well, yeah.
We could still link it with it.
That could do, yeah.
So whatever we choose to do, we can link it.
We've got a couple.
Are we able to link channels to other channels?
Well, if you think about it, we did it with Esoteric Street.
Yeah, but that was on another. That was on another email address.
Sadly, we're not going to do that anymore, but we're not going to talk about it.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Because Fascination Street, the podcast email will stay the same, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but that's what this one's on. Yeah, no. This is on the podcast email. So anyway, so by the by, so definitely in progress, not sure when we wheel it out, will be the Fascination Street motor racing show, and that will be called Pearson's in Fascination Street in the pits,
Possibly.
in the pit lane. We'll have to work on that. We're gonna have to work on a decent title for it. So that's going to be that. So we'll throw that one out there.
I think
Still want to do outdoor stuff, don't you? When
Yeah.
you do your hikes and things like that, that will still go on the channel
that's
as
probably
usual.
that's probably going to do our, like, you know, the video you were talking about, Dad, what we do, like, with when we're not on cam. We should do that as one of these things as we don't do on cam.
But behind the scenes, kind of what we do on a day-to-day kind of thing. It'd be difficult for me to do anything with work because of obviously security and stuff like that. Filming on board, that's probably going to be a no-no, I think.
And
Unless
sadly,
I
can't
contact
have a
head office and see whether or
Yeah,
not.
but you'd need everyone's permission wherever you film.
and
Well, I'll do that, don't I?
sadly, I can't have a GoPro in school because they would say that it's highly illegal and it is way too dangerous.
Unless we're able to have a word with your teacher and see whether or not we're able to go to like your school straight after class when everyone goes home and give everyone like a tour of like the classroom. And
Because doesn't Americans say this is just school, but then a secondary school for them is called high school.
Mhm.
So
Which is something else you've done this week. You've put in your
yeah,
form for high school next year.
Yes.
That's gone in this week.
So this is really confusing. Americans call primary schools, because we say it primary, don't we? They just call it school.
Don't know.
We'll have to get-
John's still waiting on the wrestling show.
What?
That's not us. That's definitely not us. That's
Not
Davey.
us, that's Davey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Davey.
Davey is doing the wrestling show, not us, because we're not wrestling fans.
Oh,
We don't know nothing about wrestling.
We know nothing. Nothing.
I know one of them are ding ding ding.
That's the bell.
I know
That's-
more
that's
than
about-
you
that's about as
know.
well.
I thought he was on
And
about
it's-
some sort of like new
Four-sided ring.
Japanese wrestler or something.
I like the lounge shoe idea.
The
The lounge shoe idea.
lounge shoe.
Lounge shoe?
I like
said
the
that?
lounge shoe.
John, what are you on?
Are you even on that wild cabbage again, John?
Lounge shoe?
Show.
Show.
Predictive text.
Predictive text. Awful thing that is.
Sure I said
Awful.
that first.
I think
As in having a chat.
So who have we got left with us? Because this could be a very, very awkward one-way conversation.
We have 8 still in.
Mhm.
So we have Sid Bitch still listening.
Yep.
Enjoy being.
Yep.
Maggie.
Mhm.
John.
You see, I'd like to do something with Enjoy Being because the creative bits and pieces that he does fascinate me. No
That
pun
could be
on
one-
Fascination
That
Street.
could be one for you.
Yep.
Other than that, I'm not sure who else is.
I mean, if at any point Enjoy Being you fancy doing something creative about us, you're more than welcome. You have my permission.
I think I should do a show
Oh,
on my
thanks,
own.
Sid.
What do you think? Should I do a show on my own?
No.
John
Okay,
said
that was it.
elementary school, middle school, or junior high school. Then high school in America.
That's confusing.
What?
Yeah, so elementary is obviously
Primary.
no, elementary.
Elementary,
is,
my dear.
Nursery.
Really?
I'm sure elementary is nursery.
John, we need to know ages for these schools. Because our guys, they hit high school at the age of 11.
So nursery is from 2 till 5.
Wow.
Then primary is 5 till 11.
Right.
And then secondary is 11
Till
till
18.
18.
Yep.
Sid Bitch
Yep.
also loves cars, especially RX and
Yep, Rallycross.
WRC.
Yep, World Rally Championships. Yep. Well, that's what I'm hoping to cover. Every kind of aspect. I mean, I'll be scouring the news, especially. I mean, if I know who likes what, then I know what to look out for. Because I mean, even though we follow the British GT Championship, there's still a lot of GT racing that I don't quite know, don't understand, and we're still learning. Because up until like this year, we've only ever been Formula One fans. I do like the Rallycross because we have Liddon Hill, which is only a couple of miles away from here, which is where they do the one over here. But I've never been because I'm always working on that bank holiday weekend. So maybe find out when it is next year. And if I can, I'll book the time off and try and get some footage from there. But we always do a Le Mans party at home here. So we'll get up in the morning, watch the practice, watch the warm up, and then get into the day. Watch it all the way through. Last year we had to cut it short because we went to a concert. We went to a Queen tribute concert in the evening, which was really funny because on the way over, Mika and I were sat in the back of the car, had the race going on my phone, got into the concert, still had my phone on. As soon as we hit the interval, the phone was on, watching the racing again. Come out the concert, in the back of the car, watching the racing all the way home. And then that was it. We stayed up and watched it through the night, which is our thing, innit? Love doing that.
I think I'm always the first one to fall asleep. As soon as I get to bed, I'm actually
well, it's
knackered.
not quite a bed. It's inflatable mattress in the lounge. We go hardcore when it comes to Le Mans weekend.
But normally someone ends up on the sofa.
That'd be you.
Enjoy being. Someone could also interview me about what the world behind film sets is like. Brandon was going to take it, but never took up the challenge.
Well, behind film sets, enjoy being. You're going to have to tell me more about
Shadows
this.
of Your Mind said, enjoy being. What is your role on set?
Yeah.
And they replied, I'm a scenic artist, so
Wow.
I paint film sets to look the way they do.
Wow. Would you have you done anything that we would have seen? Enjoy being anything we would have known? Oh, someone already put that out. Right.
John has put 5 till 12, 12 till 15, 16 till 18, or thereabouts.
Wow.
My stepdad, Sidbitch has put my stepdad in 1978 was the factory driver for Skoda, then Mazda. After that in Valley.
Wow. So that would have been just before the golden time of the 80s rally, the Lancia and Audi battle, and wow.
Enjoy being. The last one was the pilot for a series called Sweet Tooth. I've been doing it for 22 years.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Hit me up.
Yeah. Hit Sarah up.
A date for you to come on and we'll do a Fascination Street interviewing. Enjoy being, or rather, a chat. We don't like interview.
Don't.
Far too formal for us. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Hobbit.
No way.
Underworld 3. Xena.
I love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You do, don't you?
I love it.
Wow.
And yours is The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I forget all the names.
Wow.
So hit me up. My email address is below. I will also put it in the chat now.
Dog's losing it. It's going a bit scatty on into the sofa.
Yeah, he's losing patience.
Enjoy being. What would you like to see more of on our channel? Because you're always there, and I know sometimes we do.
Tiger 2, Prince Caspian.
Yeah. I'm aware of those. Wow.
There you go. My email is in the chat. So anyone, if there's anything that you would like to chat about future shows, please hit me up. Email, Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
My name on Facebook and Twitter. You've got Facebook, which is Sarah Pearson. On Twitter, Fascination Street Saz.
No, Fascination Saz.
Fascination Saz.
And if you want to hit me up on
Yogi Bear.
Mika.
No way, boo boo.
So yeah, there's quite
Let's
a few
boo
films
boo.
there.
Exit pursued by a bear.
So yeah,
Rescued by a bear.
absolutely, would certainly love to do
Yeah, that's really, really
a chat
cool.
with you.
Thanks, Enjoy Being. What? Should have hit us up sooner. We could have made that happen.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm sure that would be a family show that all three of us would get involved in.
100%, because we love movies.
Yeah, we don't watch
Oh,
TV
yeah.
anymore. It's
No.
all movies
We don't.
or
Yep.
TV shows.
Or documentaries. Well,
Yeah.
you do TV shows. I do movies and documentaries.
What about me?
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
music. Currently on one I'm not allowed to talk about, made by Amazon.
Okay.
That's a conversation killer right there.
Okay, let's
No,
see
we
the
respect that.
Fascination
We respect that 100%. And that's very, very cool.
It's a huge part of my life. Absolutely.
Art is amazing, and I really, really wish that I was as artistic as some people, because when you see the work, I mean, like Erik, who done our art for us here, Erik Stitt, you know,
He says
He-
he's never done one of those.
he
like that.
put a lot of work into that. If you go to our videos and scroll down towards the bottom, you'll actually see he made a short video. I think it's about 3 or 5 minutes long of how he actually managed to make that art. And I can sit and I can look at that for a long, long time. I mean, obviously it resonates with me because it's me, my son, and we're looking at some aliens. Because this was before Sarah got on board, which is why there's only the two of us there. But just to sit and watch how he took the time to make it happen, make it look good, add this, add that, change this. Do you know, I wouldn't have the patience to do that. I think probably one of the most artistic things I can do is just sit down and write poetry, and I haven't done that for a long, long time. Is there anything artistic that I do?
You make models.
Roses are red.
Well, making models. That's
You make this one, Dad.
what's that?
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Oh.
I love you so much, and you should too.
I'm glad you went that way because that could have gone very
I
differently.
did wonder. I was starting to panic towards the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, you do jewelry making, crocheting. You do DIY. You do all sorts.
I do all the DIY in the house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You do all sorts.
Electrical repairs, anything like that, I do. My father was a carpenter by trade, so I learned how to do things.
Like Jesus.
Yeah. I fixed the toilet. That's another one I done. I was quite proud of that actually. Yeah, quite a few bits that I've done. Fixed new taps on the kitchen sink. Put plug sockets back onto the wall.
My leg's gone dead.
So yeah, it's I'm the DIY person. Jim is not allowed anything DIY.
I'm what they call a DIY dyslexic,
He's allowed paintbrush, and that's it.
and even that's with adult supervision. Yeah.
So-
However, if you need a cake made, I'm your man.
Yeah. And if you need
Yeah.
a birthday
Dex-
card
Dex
made,
is has tasted my Christmas cake, so
Mm-hmm.
and if you need a maybe Christmas
So-
card or anything made, come to me. I am the best at making it off craft.
Sid Bitchwell, Sarah the plumber electrician. I wouldn't go that far, but yes,
She's pretty good.
I can turn my hand to pretty much anything.
Plumbing, I mean, it's basically water Lego for adults, isn't it, really?
Have you tried getting on to this?
No. I haven't tried getting on top of a sink, around a sink. Yeah, not my bag. I'll stick to making models.
And I'll just stick to
Yeah. Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah.
Back to the show.
Got a bit off topic.
Right, so is there anything you want to see? Any kind of, I don't know, segments that you think we should do? I I'm sorry, I'm suffering from extreme back pain and just trying to get comfortable. My leg has gone numb. Yeah, segments. Anything that you can think of you'd like to see?
You've done Dover Castle, like I say, Deal Castle.
Though,
Is
yeah,
only
but
8 miles
yeah, but
away.
the castle never gets boring. There's still
it
so many
doesn't.
people. I mean, that
But
video
Walmer
that Mika
Castle
done,
is amazing.
Walmer Castle, yeah, 'cause that's got the death mask of the Duke of Wellington.
And the maze.
Yeah.
I
Is there a
mean,
maze there?
yes, of course there is.
I don't remember that. That Nosy, the Duke of Wellington. He was like Lord in Chief during the Napoleonic Wars, and he was in charge of like all the soldiers, and then he was like Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports. He died at Walmer Castle in one of the rooms there, and when people died of old age, and when people used to die back then of a certain stature of importance, they used to make a death mask. So as soon as they died, they used to kind of cover the face with like whatever clay or whatever, and then pour like a clay into it, and then that's it. And you've actually got his death mask by his bed where he died in the castle. It's actually really cool. But yeah, no, Walmer Castle is a beautiful castle, so yeah, we can do something there.
Grounds as well.
Yeah, Pine Gardens, Winston Churchill's little retreat where he used to like walking around, stuff like that. So I mean, we've got so many different bits and pieces that we can do. It's unreal, but it's whether or not people want to see that type of thing, considering what we do. I mean, being like the metaphysical first family of fringe and stuff like that.
With us having such a wide range of audience from around the world.
Yeah.
They are not privy to castles like we are.
But there again, you've got some in America that do have castles and fortresses and stuff like that, you know. Oh, my leg is so dead.
Out of mine, love seeing the places you visit, landmarks. I will never be able to see myself. Like when you went to the crop circles, that was cool. Absolutely, we love that.
You'd be surprised. They're probably more than you know. They're actually anywhere near you. You know, there's so many websites out there of finding like local crop circles and things. So we didn't know about it until Dex come over, and I mean, Dex, who's an Australian in England, showing us how to find crop circles. It was amazing. And do you know, there's probably more near you than you think. If trying to think of the name, is it Crop Circle Connector or something like that online? And I'm sure if you look, there's bound to be like a crop circle kind of group somewhere near you on Facebook, or if you just Google it, I'm sure you'll find something. And honestly, next thing you know, they're probably going to be on your doorstep for real.
Sidwich, how about doing some car stuff? I'll stay for that. Also, maybe some show some UK castles, mansions, any near
We can
you.
do that.
Yeah,
we've got so many.
Mansions.
If I can't send any links out on it. What I can do is I can put out a list. Who's not on Facebook? Is everyone on Facebook?
Not everyone, no.
No. Because I could have put out a list of potential places that people can look at. I mean, like Hever Castle, that's just up the road. That was the childhood home of Anne Boleyn.
Do both.
And Henry VIII used to stay there.
Facebook and Twitter. And cover both.
Yep. And they have like stuff like jousting events. We have a fortress, Napoleonic fortress up behind where we live. And a couple of times a year, they have an open day there. And they have reenactments. So they'll have soldiers from the Second World War right the way down to the Napoleonic War. Sometimes you have a group of steampunk that turn up as well, which look absolutely amazing. And when you walk further down to the Grand Shaft, which is a trilateral staircase, which goes from the top of the cliff down to the port at the bottom. It was the first one that was built like that in the UK, I believe, in the Napoleonic time. So you had like 3 different overlapping staircases going down, so you get more troops down or more troops up quicker. So if anything was going down at the port, they could get the whole garrison, which was stationed on top, all the way down in next to no time at all.
Yeah, but what happens
Where-
if one fell? Wouldn't it all be like dominoes?
Yeah.
I love dominoes. They're fun.
Don't like falling though.
No.
Actually, if one falls,
So-
then it'll be safe. Then the other one would
Yeah.
be safe. So safe dominoes.
So maybe next day off or something, I could get up the top and have a look around with the camera, take that up, show people some bits and pieces, give them a bit of knowledge. But yeah, I can put out a list of sort of like local places, local stuff. And that's it. I mean, even if you just want to see whether or not we can get up on top of the hills on a nice clear day and zoom the camera over so you can see how close to France we really are. Most days you can just look out over the hill and there's the French coastline. It's that clear. It's mad, so mad. But that's what I mean. We need to know what you want, guys.
Okay, enjoy being. Segments are good. Layers of things put together. Once a segment makes itself known, let it lie. No need to necessarily force it. Let it become what it wants to. Shadows of your mind. Ever done a book roundup of the alternative books you've been reading?
No, I'm not a big reader, if I'm honest with you. There's some books that I'm going through at the moment which are to help with Mika's development. I'll just leave it at that. No. Recently we found out that Mika is dyslexic.
It wasn't.
Yeah, not many people on Facebook.
No.
I can explain.
I'm gonna try and put a cushion under my leg.
I definitely have to say, everyone knew in the family from the start I was dyslexic.
It's only slight. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's slight or not. It is still dyslexia, and it can still affect. I struggle with my
ER, ED, S, bits like that.
and yeah.
But yeah,
So
we're finding ways to cope with it.
So
we?
yeah, we found out that Mika's dyslexic. So a lot of the reading that I'm doing at the moment is how I can help, or we can help, and we can support him. What changes we can make to what we do, what changes we can make to what he does, other bits of equipment that we can use to help him read. I mean, we've had clear, all different coloured bits of plastic to put over the top of the words, so see whether or not he can read it better with that, because someone suggested that, so we've got some straight away. And so so all the reading that I'm doing at the moment is all to do with that. I mean, I'm not a big reader as it is, but I'm making more of a concerted effort to read, because obviously it's my child, and if anything I can do to help make his life easier, help support him, or anything like that, then I'm totally good with that. Although, to be fair, I do have a copy of Phil Mantle's new Pascagoula book on the way, so I imagine I'll probably be dipping into that as well. But yeah, everything at the moment is sort of like Dummy's Guides to Dyslexia, helping your child overcome dyslexia, and so yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. If you want, if you need us to do a show on helping your child overcome dyslexia, at the moment we're getting there.
So Maggie said her son and husband have it.
Mm-hmm.
Sid Rich, so am I, dyslexic, or however you type it.
Yep.
Normally it's fine, but I struggle more in my native Norwegian than English. Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Dyslexia is an opportunity to expand the other abundant skills which come with it.
Exactly.
But first, identify and adjust.
Exactly.
Cheeky.
Well, we know where exactly. We know that Mika is very, very skilled and very talented in many, many other areas. So with that, we don't have a problem. But academically and things at the moment, we want to be able to give him top-notch help with that. So
John's dyslexic too.
wow.
So lots of people are dyslexic. So you're not the only one. There's lots
Yeah.
of
So you're not as
people.
special as you first thought you were.
No.
So, nah.
And Jiggy is tuning in from Disclosure Con.
Hey, Jiggy, Disclosure Con, how is it? Chuck him a link. Chuck him a link.
Dyslexia is a sign of visual spatial thinking.
Mm-hmm. And people that are dyslexic are far more creative than those that are academic, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we've tried telling Mika 1,000,001 times. All the greatest people in the world have been dyslexic. Einstein,
Yep.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Winston Churchill, Keanu Reeves.
Tom Cruise.
The one that played Smith in Men in Black.
Yeah, Will Smith. Will Smith's dyslexic as well. But yet again, Will Smith's a great rapper.
John said it's a sign of great intelligence.
There you go, man.
Sid Bitch, it's not really a problem for me as long as no one reminds me of it, then it becomes one.
Sorry, we've just reminded you you've got it, mate. My bad.
Best rapper ever.
That's from Jiggy. 100%. I know Jiggy. 100. That is so true. Jiggy, do you want to pop on for 5 minutes, or are you really, really busy at Disclosure Con?
Remember, there is a lag.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Us going out to. So yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, some great ideas coming.
Yeah. Well, we've got
so
bits and pieces written down.
It's loud even here in the lobby. So no.
Yep. No worries, Jiggy. We get that, babe. We get that. But
I've got your package together. It's all taped up, and as soon as I'm able to get out and about, it will be sent.
So there you go.
As saves to next.
Oh no, you forgot to put the thing in it. Or did you find it?
I found it.
High fives. It's nice. She's my wife. That's fantastic. Yeah, you've got a great package on the way, Jig. That sounded bad, did it? Or did it? Mika!
He might have a good
Package. Oh my life.
I didn't even hear you.
You went there.
Package jokes. Sorry,
Your boy
Jiggy.
just followed.
Sorry, Jiggy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, everyone that's listening. Mum, if you're still watching, I'm really sorry. I know you brought me up better than this. I've let you down. I've let Dad down. I'm so sorry.
Get
Ah.
out.
See what I have to deal with.
Yeah,
This is
he's
what they're like on a daily basis.
no. I'm not like that. It's Daddy.
I bring out
blame the dad.
I bring out
Blame the dad.
I bring out the worst in our child. That is a fact. That I laid down last night and opened my bottle of water and it spat everywhere. I weren't even squeezing it. I think it was a bottle of water.
Oh!
When you go for when you go for a celebration chug, always make sure the lid's picked up.
Oh, you know, you
Didn't
went like
quite
this.
work the first time, did it?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to show John this.
Oh yeah.
John
Is he
aside.
still in the
I know you're going to
frame?
appreciate this, but I had this delivered a little while ago.
Shine on it.
Shine on
You
you.
might need to turn it a little bit, twist it, to get the shine off.
Twist it.
Look at that
Ah.
artwork. It looks so 3D, but
Punch
it's
it.
not.
Kick it. Bananas. Daddy.
Nice. And
How big a package is it then, Jim?
who said that?
John.
So you have to give him that.
You'll find out once I get in my Leah thong. When you hit the PayPal, John. Sarah Pearson 1979 is the password. Where you going? There you go. What do you reckon of that, John? That's by Anne Stokes. Nice little picture of the Oak King. As he's just done
Hey, stop about smoking, right?
It's not. That's Oak King, not Smoke King. It's got far too much hair to be Smoke King.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I mean, even the beard's longer than Smoke King's, so it's not Smoke King. Even though Mika does now have Smoke King's star hoodie.
We got a donation, I think. Oh no, we don't.
No, seriously, John don't want to see it that badly. I swear. Sarah, what you got?
I don't know.
Jiggy keeps on puffing. Yeah, you keep on puffing. Jiggy.
Oh, right. Okay. I got you now. Sid Bitch put troll, and I thought there was actually a troll in the room, so I shot over to Facebook, but no, it actually looks like a troll. That's where they were going with it. But yeah, I actually thought there was a troll in the room, so yeah, I shot over thinking that.
You got your big girl boots on.
I did.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Kind of like
Wouldn't be the first time we've had a troll, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
And isn't that funny how I just sat here going,
How a bear likes honey.
Yeah, and I just went poof. Make myself a big.
We don't need to. We've got Jiggy in the room. Trust me, no one's going to come and mess with us with Jiggy there. Ain't going to happen.
no,
Jiggy's
I
got
just
us.
went like that. Troll.
Jiggy, is there anything you'd like to see in our show? If you're still there. So, who's there? Because he did say in his stream the other day, was it Laura?
Jiggy, John, enjoy being Sid Bitch.
No. Jiggy was saying who was at Disclosure Con. There was Laura Eisenhower. Was Mike Barra there? One guy that I must admit that I was quite disappointed in meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When I met him at Awakening, he was just really
Obnoxious.
yeah, very, very, yeah. Especially considering I chatted with him on social media and he knew who I was when I turned up there.
Yeah, but he didn't seem to know.
No. He didn't seem to know, even though we'd had banter on Instagram and so.
Alright, so
I'm on Instagram.
No, definitely so. So.
I'm sorry, Instagram.
Ron and Ben from Edge of Blunder.
Was that Don and Glenn?
Rex Bear.
Cool. Is Brad Olsen there?
Munashi. Is that right?
Right. Oh, Manoush.
Manoush, the force is strong with you, Jimmy.
Hey, Mush. How are you, buddy? You're good? Yeah, Mush
John
is awesome.
has put Norse pagan stuff and Celtic too, but more pagan stuff.
Yep, that can be done. Well, wasn't John going to do one on Viking paganism for us?
Yeah. We need to get him on.
Yeah, John, if you still want to do one on Viking paganism with us, would be really, really cool with having that, because we want to do another pagan show, because the last one kind of fell flat on its butt, really, didn't it? That we done. So we want something a little bit more substantial.
James Goodall. Jiggy's putting.
Oh, James Goodall.
James Goodall.
Yeah.
Brooks Agnew.
Yeah, cool. Everyone loves a bit of Brooks Agnew.
Yeah.
James Goodall. He'd be someone that I'd be very interested to have on.
Give me a nudge, Jig.
Yeah, Jiggy. Hook us up, mate. Hook us up.
John says tattoos. Tattoos would be an interesting show. He said he's down though with doing pagan.
Yeah, awesome. I was gonna have to bust out my new tattoo kit, weren't I? That's what I was expecting.
You're not using me as a.
John wanted me to tattoo you live on air.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
No, Mika.
Not
until you're 18.
Have you guys watched The Last Kingdom? They have an awesome telling of the Viking adventures.
No. The last things that I was watching was basic. It was more or less druidry. There was I've picked up a few books lately. I've got the so when Mika wants to know a little bit more about what his parents get up to, we've got a beginner's guide to elements of the pagan wheel. Within that, we also have for him to understand the pagan wheel of the year. with the months, other bits and pieces to go with it. Ah!
Is that one of the books? Ah!
Yep.
I like
We
that
also
book.
have. Oh, let's turn that so you can see it a bit better. Oh, that way there. Seasonal dance: how to celebrate the pagan year.
Oh yeah, I'd be good at that. You know, just.
Yeah, you would. Got the new pagan handbook, and some of these authors I'm actually looking at to see whether or not we're able to get those on the show as well. What else we've got here? The Druid Ritual Handbook.
I had to flip through that one.
Yeah, we've got many books.
And the one I've just picked up. Oh, hello. The Beginner's Guide to Druids, basically. So this is Graham K. Toolboy has been a druid for a long time. An encounter with a spirit in a beech grove 50 years ago convinced him that the eye rarely sees all there is to see. A few years later, he realized there were ways to discover more about those other worlds amongst the trees. The word druid didn't drift into his consciousness until he was a teenager, but by then he was already exploring the forest and fascinated by the history and archaeology of the ancestral Celts. Since then, Graham has been a teacher in schools and museums. He now writes, passing on what he has learned through fiction and non-fiction. He spent some time in the Druid Order completing their formal training, but is much more comfortable exploring the forest on his own. Since 2001, he has administered the Hedge Druid network with fellow Druid Julie White. So that's some of the some of the reading I've got without the other pagan and druid books that I have on my drive, which I have a lot of. So there we go. So how are we doing for time? Have we got anything else that's going out there? Or...
1 hour 50 minutes so far.
So we're pretty close to a wrap then.
So yeah.
Right. Okay. So thank you so much for being part of this, and part of where we're going, what we're doing. I'm not going to coin Davies' phrase and expand in the process because that's Davies and Davies alone. So, yeah, we'd genuinely like to thank you for the input for the show, where we're going and stuff, because there's no doubt at all that we're giving up. That is not happening. That's not a real thing. We just needed to know where we was going because it kind of got to a point where we're all becoming a bit stagnant with it. And we kind of felt that maybe we weren't giving it what we could be giving it, or giving you what you should be getting for giving us your time. So for us, this is a point for us to kind of take stock, see what we've got, see what we need, see what you want, and make it happen. Because all the time we know that we're doing what you want us to do, then we're doing the right thing. Obviously, there'll be a few impromptu little videos and that coming up, which we haven't done. We said we would do, but we haven't done, because of the whole kind of like hangout thing, or because of the whole kind of 1,000 subscription mark. So not been able to. But there are ways around that. So we just need to get a little bit more tech savvy. So if anyone wants to get hold of us at any time and try and point us in the right direction, that'd be great. Because you'll be helping us bring you more and do more for you. That's all. What's on that? So do you guys want to wrap? Oh, shout outs. I'll do the shout outs tonight then, shall I? Yeah. Okay, big shout out to our girl Natasha Nix, our boy Dave Partridge, Erik Stitt Art, Brett Larson, Inquire Within, Ray and Dennis, Sixth Sense Media, Kat Hobson, Fate Magazine, and WBHM Radio. I caught a little bit of the show last night. Recommended if you have it on Spreaker. Coming at you from Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, even. Looper, Planet Looper, keep that music coming. It's always really, really good fun. Just tag me or I'm sure it'll come up on there. Enjoy being, again, mentioned it earlier, your creative word, creative thinking stuff. It's great. I love it. Really, really do. Don't stop. Keep it coming. Our boys Jiggy and Smoke over at Paranormal Hood. Can't forget Zen at Unspirituality. If you don't follow Zen at Unspirituality, please do. He's a guy, he's got something to say, and it's not boring, it's not crap, and it's not recycled garbage. It's really, really good stuff. Got a lot of love for Zen. We had a chat with him after last week's show, and he's every bit of a gentleman as you'd expect and you see on screen. So we've got a lot of love for Zen, and we.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you say Shadows of Your Mind?
Dave Partridge, Shadows of Your Mind. Yeah, Dave Partridge. Did I not then? Did you not think I did? I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure I did. I did, didn't I? But you know what? Dave Partridge, me got love for you. And don't forget, you're coming on soon to do a show about H.P. Lovecraft. I need a date, please, Dave.
Okay, and for everyone else that we've spoke to about future shows,
Contact
you
us.
can contact us. That would be great. John, we'd love to get you on as well. So yeah, okay. Cheers, Dave. Yeah, you did. You forgot Paranormal Hood.
No, I didn't. Jiggy and Smoke.
So, yeah, we did.
Don't give me all that.
It's John that's saying that, not me.
John, I would never forget Jiggy and Smoke.
Okay, so Maggie and
Oh yeah,
Blue
big shout out
Eyes,
to Maggie. Big shout out to
we-
Blue Eyes.
We will get in contact and organise a time for you.
Sid
and
Vitch, thank
John.
you for joining us from Norway.
Yep, I believe so. And for anyone else that wants to contact us about any future shows, please do. And as we say, we are staying. We're not going anywhere. We're just trying to think of ways of branching out and making the show more
Better.
interesting for you.
Better. Even if that means every now and then we may even do a collaboration with someone else. We may do a show with, I don't know, I'd like to do a family show with Natasha Nix, definitely, because she's a content creator that we also love. We'd love to do something with Jiggy and Smoke. Maybe Jiggy.
Yeah, not sure how that would work.
No, Smoke's cool. Smoke's wicked. I'm sure we could find a way of doing something. We'd like to do some collaborations. We'd like to mix in as well with our other content creator family because we all pretty much share the same audience. And we have got a serious mutual love and respect for each other as well, which you don't normally find anywhere. Because normally on YouTube, it's like a dog eat dog world and everyone just wants to kind of screw each other over and stuff like that. But no, absolutely not. It's we found a golden family, really, really have, which is so good.
Yeah. Dave says, we'll check my diary, keep bugging me. John says, Leo Bikini.
PayPal.
So, yeah. Like I say, I've put my email in the description in the box. It should be underneath all my details. Contact me through Twitter, Facebook, all the above. So we will see what we can do and see where we go from here.
Cool. Right.
So it's going to be onwards and upwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, motor racing thing. Looking forward to that. I just hope and pray. Yeah. Just hope and pray that Aston Martin and TF Sport get back to me and give us some signage for the set, which I've asked for. I actually emailed Aston Martin Racing yesterday. So fingers crossed.
John, $5.
$5.
$5. Enjoy being. They tried watching other communities lately, and it's just not the same.
It's not.
It's such a family that we have.
It is, and again, people like Zen. I mean, his content is just so original. It's so different, which is why that's all I watch now. I only watch Zen, Paranormal Hood, Mysterious Forces Live. They're the only people that I watch right now. Obviously, Stina's new stuff that she's brought out. Again, someone that's got something to say, which isn't recycled stuff. It's well researched. And there's no one else like that at the moment. There's no one else putting out decent, good content. And we want to be amongst those people that are putting out good quality content. You know, I mean, we could have the same people on over and over and over and over and over again. And we have got someone coming on, which we've had on multiple times. But everyone loves her. And she's been on a bit of a journey since the last time we saw her. So for us, we want to have her on because we want to know how she's got on, how things have changed for her, how times have changed for her, and things like that. But again, it's someone that our guys that have been with us since the start have seen develop as well. So Sabrina Campbell.
Gotta have her back.
Gotta have Sabrina Campbell back.
Everyone loves Sabrina.
Everyone loves Psychic Sabrina and her travels. It's been a great, beautiful pleasure to watch. So yeah, so we're in talks with Sabrina to get her back on soon. I'm also in talks at the moment with Phil Mantle to get him on to talk about his new revised and updated version of Calvin Parker's book. We are also trying to get Calvin Parker back as well, but obviously with the release of his book being on Fade to Black the other day, conference appearances, and also trying to stay in his good health because he's had a poor run of health recently. I'm really trying to get him on as well. And also, again, I want to get Phil Mantle on with Spiros Malaris to kind of really put the whole Roswell alien hoax thing to bed totally, because I can't believe that it's still rumbling on after it's been debunked. Natasha Nick's done an amazing job with the shows that she done. Again, both with Phil, with Spiros, but it all seems to be falling on deaf ears. Having the guy there that created the alien and the guy who kind of wrote the book about it, and it still won't die. It still won't die.
And Calvin is actually on Coast to Coast this weekend.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Awesome.
Job.
Guys, tune in to Coast, definitely for Calvin Parker. He is an absolutely dear guy. I was only messaging him with him this week, and he was telling me how busy he was and stuff. So, in fact, I've just had a notification come up from his wife on my phone. If you're watching, Waynette, or if you're watching Calvin, love you very, very much, and thank you very, very much for everything, honestly. But yeah, that's uncanny. That is private message. Yeah. So that's all I've got for you. I'm sorry if it kind of dragged on a little bit, or it wasn't the show that you was hoping or expecting. But sometimes you've got to kind of have these kind of shows to kind of, bring you forward and, do what everyone wants you to do. I feel like I'm just rambling now.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. You've been absolutely amazing with your input, your stories, and obviously getting information from you for future shows and what we could possibly take this Fascination Street and the first family of Fringe to other areas.
Yep. But don't forget, also artwork. We need artwork. We need artwork. We need artwork. That way. Why is everything all back to front on my camera? I can't get used to it. Because the other on Hangouts, I was always the other way round, weren't I? So I could point that way and I'd go that way, but I'm pointing that way and now I'm going that way. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So artwork, need candy from around the world, need ideas brought into us, name for the motorsport show, and that's it.
Finished?
I think so.
Awesome. Okay, it's a good night from him. He's almost asleep behind me. You can see his eyes almost closing.
He's been wall climbing all day.
He has. He's been at a party for a couple of hours, so he's been clip and climbing and climbing walls and ladders and whatnot. So he's absolutely shattered. So he's going to sleep well. It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from him over there. Otherwise, we'll keep rambling. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. I'm not sure who we've got yet, but we'll let you know.
All right. Peace and love, ending.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Have a great week.